What
Part
up,
two?
familia? I'm back. It's your favorite Puerto Rican Brook affiliate, as I promised. This is part two. But when I turned on the TikTok to begin to record, the song Hello came on. And once again, right? Falling in love with who I am. So there's something significant about that, right? For some of you, right? Spirit wants you to consider that, right? That whatever decision you make, it has to be a decision that was made based on self love, right? Love for self, right? That we shouldn't return to anything, right? Person, place, thing, job, family, frenemy, friend, lover, partner, if it isn't in our best interest, right? And I need to say that a little differently because that sounds like when I say best interest like that, it could sound like you know, how is it advantageous in terms of, what is best for me and not for the other. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that if it in any way is going to be detrimental to you, right, then you should not. We should not. One should not consider entering into anything or returning into anything that would not be beneficial, right? That could be detrimental to us. There you go. I was trying to find the words. But it's interesting that terms like interest and beneficial, there's a lot of, it seems like both for the, I wanted to say distorted masculine and distorted feminine, there seems perspectives about the distorted masculine and the distorted feminine energies, right? Energies that just tend to operate. I'm hearing out of survival mode, and I'm sorry, this commercial is bothering me. Out of survival mode, and because they operate out of survival mode, things like, you know, only thinking what's beneficial for myself or what interest, I can get out of it becomes the sole foundation or premise, or becomes very much enmeshed in there. Because what I'm hearing is I'm speaking to a collective that can acknowledge, right, that maybe because of past hurt, past trauma, childhood wounding, not knowing what relationships really should look like, not really having the model to themselves, right, can tend to struggle in relationships with those type of issues, right? I'm hearing those type of survival modalities, right? Yeah, look, Five of Swords, right? Where you feel like you have to one up, right? You have to be 10 steps ahead, right? I'm hearing a trauma response, right? I'm seeing that commercial now that comes across, I don't know if it's just on the TV, but on like sometimes the feed where it says if every time you and your significant other have an argument and you feel like you have to cut the relationship off, there's something about that, right? Why would you feel that? Why would an argument, you gotta be starting a life together? Yeah, look, you gotta cut it off. Look, I just said that. I just feel led. I'm just gonna show you. This is the deck. I have this big pile. I just randomly shuffled and then turned over onto here, and then I'm feeling led by spirit to just pull. Right, the face card, whatever's showing itself here, right? And I just said that about one upping, right? I need to be 5 steps ahead of the other person. Again, it's like a sense of fear, right? Like, if I'm not in control, if I'm not ahead, they're gonna hurt me first. So I'm gonna, look, I'm gonna take all the swords and take the advantage of being hurt, right? If I remain in this juggling energy, right, back and forth, then I don't get hurt, right? Because of past sneaky links or past sneaky behavior, right? I don't want to accept this love. Again, there's a truth in that. And I'm not saying that everybody's listening to me, that's your story, but I'm hearing there's remnants of that truth, right? Whether, whatever aspect of it is for you, right? So yeah, you ready to cut off the relationship, right? Dun, 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 you know, gotta go. But deep down, and look, and move forward. Or look at this, cut off the relationship, but deep down inside, right? Because this is dark now in the subconscious. You really, right? And there goes the two people. You really want to move forward in the relationship, right? What's that song? I think it's Lauryn Hill. She said, "I tell you to leave when I mean stay."
I love that sound.
Yeah.
You gotta shake it well.
I tell you to leave when I mean
Put
stay.
it all over. Show the Grays who's boss. Et voila.
Look, I tell you to leave 6 when I mean stay 6. I really want this victory with you, right? But I cut you off and it fell on the floor. Puñeta. You look, see how I just got frustrated just because the card fell on the floor? There's this sense of like the trauma response, the trigger response. It's like this quick sense of frustration. And now I feel like crying for some reason. Yeah, this energy is very girlfriend. And baby, it's all that matters to me. Yeah, when you really want balance, right? You want harmony, you want equilibrium, you know? And now I'm hearing this is self-regulation. There you go. It's not about balance right now. It's about self-regulation, right? Confirmation, right? It's about how do I regulate myself so that I'm not doing this, right? That I'm not doing this. That I'm not doing this, right? Juggling back and forth. Then cutting off. Saying go, but I really mean stay, right? So how can you, learn to regulate yourself in such a way that you're then not just automatically responding in that way? And even if it doesn't mean stay in this relationship or the relationship you're, feeling like you obsessively, you can't sleep, right? We saw the devil when it first came out. And then a lot of times, right, we think that the devil, that, oh my God, it must mean I really love this person. I can't. Well, no, not if we're responding from these triggers and this trauma, right? We release these hormones. It's just, look, and this is this Knight of Swords, right? Because again, you say, I'm going to leave. Then you come running back in, right? It's like a dopamine fix. It becomes an addictive pattern, right? And now when this person, this place, this thing leaves, right? I'm tapping like this. I'm getting them, the mice when they go in. I'm seeing a little gerbil or a hamster going to the little tube and getting his fix, right? When the experimenters are experimenting on them, right? To test addiction or how the dopamine and different like things like work. So for some of you, you're struggling with that obsessive feeling, but it's because it's a withdrawal. It's a literal withdrawal. And I'm speaking to those specifically. Spirit wants me to go back to those 3 in those situations. Particularly, I'm here for you, bruh, right? And this is to my masculines, right? Because y'all catch a hard rap is always there, the cheaters. And no, I'm talking to you, right? And specifically to anybody, because the 3 of Cups for the females came out as well. To anybody who has been cheated on, right? That's a sense of betrayal. That's a sense of distrust, right? And again, I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. I'm not saying that, after cheating, things can't be, because again, I don't know. I'm not going to get into all that. All I know is I felt that clearly, right? That, it's a difficult thing, right? Point blank, period. And it does mess up the trust. So if you feel like you don't need to go back to that, then, you follow your heart, you follow your intuition. Look, the wheel is changing, right? The wheel has the power. Oh my God, obsessed. This is what I'm saying. It's talking about, feeling like it's a twin flame. Then and now you're feeling out in the cold. But it's only so that you can transform this. You have the power to reestablish yourself again, King. That became very personal to some masculine figure. I might pull some more cards on this. Let's go for it. Fuck it.